Now let's take a look at the color scale for your to-do list. So this is really the daily tempo of the tasks in your business that you've set for yourself. So a few things here. Let's take a look at this here first. So this is what I personally use. Now feel free obviously to use whatever works for you. This is just about finding what works for you. Now what I found to be the most effective for me is a free software called Asana. And the reason why I like it is it's simple and I just use it for my to-do list. Other thing I really like is that it syncs perfectly between my phone and my computer. So when I'm working on my computer, I always have a tab open that has exactly what you're seeing right here. And then on my phone, there's an app and it shows me exactly what you're seeing here. So what I really like is that it's always updated in real time. And a few things about this. So it's really about finding how your daily schedule works. So for an example, for me, it feels really green, if not blue. It feels blue to start my morning off with like coffee and education. So reading something, listening to something, watching something, and just having that time. For me, that's like a really blue way to start the day because I'm just totally at peace. I'm really enjoying it. Now, something else that you'll notice here is the morning task. So I wish I remembered who I first learned this from, but it's this concept of putting the first thing you do in the day is your income producing activities, the things that'll actually move the business forward. And this is a huge thing for me to adopt because otherwise before that it's kind of like I was just doing the things I wanted to do in the morning and kind of pushing things off. And obviously that's bad for business. So what I do personally is I just do these little dollar signs to remind myself, and I put those at the front of my task list so that I know that okay, yes, I'm going to have like the coffee and education time in the morning. Yet once I'm like opening my computer up and like ready to get down to business, then let me knock out the income producing activities first. And that really was a big breakthrough for me when I first started implementing that, because then no matter what happens in the rest of the day, so say, in the afternoon you get some news and some friends want to go out somewhere, or there's something in town, or there's something that's a change of plans. Well, as long as you got the income producing activities knocked out of the way, then you actually have that freedom to go and do those things. And you still know, and you still have the peace of mind that you moved your business forward that day. So what I've found is that it creates a lot more freedom and peace, which is ultimately some blue energy coming in there. So morning task, maybe it's a couple, maybe it's 2, 3, whatever it is. Let's get those knocked out right away. Make sure the income producing activities are finished. And for me, I personally like right brain activity in the morning. I feel like if there's creativity in terms of thinking of new ideas, and or creativity in terms of synthesizing ideas, or maybe I got a few different ideas floating in my head and I'm like, okay, and it's time to put that into, say, slides or writing, whatever it is. I find I personally work best and the green energy flows through in the morning for right brain activity work. Now in the afternoon, I find that's the best time for me for left brain work, where it's analytical and it's more like implementing. So maybe there's a list of things and it's just got to knock through them and execute. Then I find that action work is more suited for me in the afternoon for left brain activities. So A, find out which software or which way of tracking your to-do list works best for you. And then B, starting to use the color scale to see what type of areas of your day, what type of sections of your day feel different ways for you. Because if I had to start in the morning with left brain, knock it out work, action work, to me that feels like red or at best yellow. But it's up to you, and it's also up to you based on like your workout schedule as well. It plays a factor. Your eating schedule. Are you fasting or are you not? So those are a few things on this, and then there's one other item. Oh yes, I got more slides. So a few extra things on this is like the night before I arrange my tasks, and I love that it's in Asana because I could just use it from my phone, and then when I pull up my computer, it's already updated there. So that's really been helpful for me, so that before that going to bed, I actually know what my first activities are in the morning. And I now I structure it so that it's exciting, so it feels green. So like I'm going to bed feeling excited for the next day because I know what's there, and I've positioned it in a way where there's a nice flow to the day. And as I said, income producing activities at the top, flexible daily structure. So what I've kind of done with this too is you can see how it has a section for noon right there. I just do that for like different days of the week too. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it helps structure of like I'll get an idea or I know I want to do some things later in the week. So I'll just slide it down, and you can have a never-ending list of this, and you just slide it down and I just put it on say Thursday. So I know that when Thursday comes, that's my thing to do for there. And I say flexible there because some, they're shifting around, but that type of categorization I've found is to be the highest, much higher efficiency for me because I can see, and it's all in one place. And that's really the key behind the next one, number 4, is add all tasks. So I first learned this from Eben Pagan, who built a $100 million information product business. And one of the things he said is like, write down all of your ideas in your to-do list. Like write it down. And to me, that meant let me put it in the software. And his idea with that is that, hey, if it's not written out, it's actually floating around in your brain or your conscious or subconscious mind, and it's taking up resources. And that's even if you, the best case scenario. The best case scenario is you remember everything, but it's still floating around there. So his concept was to write it out down, get it out of your head, and that way you know that you don't have to worry about forgetting it or not forgetting it. And number 2, it's not taking up space anymore, or it's not as much as it was. So I've really ran with that, and I really believe in it. So if there's any idea of like, oh, I should do this in the business or that, I just put them in this list. And they might be way far down the list, or maybe I put it into Friday or the next week or something like that. But having it out gives me the blue peace of mind that I don't need to try and remember everything because I don't have to try and remember everything, and that it's always there and it's not forgotten. So that's really worked well for me and allowed me to be super focused in the moment, but also be at peace of mind with all the different activities in the business. And the thing is, with like the more our business grows, the more information is just hitting our senses all the time. Is like we're always going to have a never-ending to-do list. Always. It's just a never-ending to-do list. So that's helped me come to peace with it. Is like, okay, I know it's never going to end, yet I can have all the ideas out there, and some of them I'll stick with, some of them I'll not, but at least they're there, and if I don't need them, then I can just delete it. So find your own way that works for you, and I'll see you in the next video.